everyone. Welcome to the Kentera Show. Glad you could join me on the program. Just a quick reminder, Monday, we will be taking a day off. We're going to be taking a day off on Monday because I've been on the docket for over a year now to speak at the Jocks Luncheon, the 29th annual Jocks Luncheon down at Tom Ham's Lighthouse. Everyone's invited. $60 at the door if you want to hear what I have to say. You want to hear what Wally Henry, former star out of Lincoln High School, UCLA, and Philadelphia Eagles, has to say. Stop by Tom Ham's Lighthouse. Going to get underway about 10 o'clock. It'll be about a 4-hour get-together. They have a variety of things they do prior to the lunch and to the guest speakers, but I'm the keynote speaker on Monday. Again, Tom Ham's Lighthouse gets underway at 10 o'clock and $60 at the door. If you're a long-time San Diego person that's followed athletics, there are going to be some legendary people just sitting in the banquet room that you may have a chance to talk with. I went last year for the first time, and it was amazing the people I ran into and really enjoyed it. And they asked me if I would speak this year, so I will be doing that on Monday. So we will reconvene on Wednesday of next week. And as we get a little bit closer to spring training, there are going to be more and more things to talk about. So no show on Monday. We'll resume next Wednesday at 9 a.m. A couple of things. Business-wise, if you're tuning in for the first time, please subscribe, please like, please share, and please tell a friend. And if you'd like to become a member of our Gold Glove package, $2.99 a month. And more than anything else, you can tell your buddies, hey, I support Coach's channel, and it's kind of a way to pay some of our expenses while we do this podcast throughout the course of the year. And somebody asked me the other day, they go, why are you doing a podcast? Why aren't you on the radio? Well, number one, I don't really foresee myself getting back on the radio, nor am I panting to get back on the radio. I love doing the podcast. Jonathan and I have a great time 3 days a week, a lot of fun. And they go, well, how long are you going to do the podcast? Well, I don't know. I'm going to do it till I'm not having fun any longer. And we're having a lot of fun right now. I look forward to this. I love preparing for these podcasts. I really do. It's like I did a college basketball game last night, and I had that procedure, as all of you know, last Friday. And so I've been kind of laying low around the house. I have a driver that takes me to the games and drops me off right next to the arena where I don't have to walk very far, and I'm doing really good. By next week, I should be pretty much back to normal. And hopefully the procedure I had, everything's going to take hold and onward and upward. But I love to prepare. And I started preparing for the game I did last night. Not a good night for UC San Diego. They got beat by UC Santa Barbara, who's probably the most talented team I've seen this year come into Lion Tree Arena. But I started preparing on Monday for the Thursday night game. I love to prepare. I love to get information to dispense it out to all of you fans. And I really appreciate all the viewership. We've done a great job of spreading the word and continue to spread the word, especially with Padres season coming up. We want a lot of Padre people to join in. This is a fun show. It's an informative show. And believe me, I know where to get the information from all my friends in baseball and the Padre organization. I always say, and this is no knock on anybody that covers the team, but I get more information by accident than a lot of people do by going down there every day and trying to ask questions. You got to know, number one, the right questions to ask. Number two, you got to build the relationships with the right people. And so when you're tuning in here, you're getting it not just from me, but I'm getting it from great people. Okay, so if you're into the Padres, want to know what's going on, make sure you tune in. Make sure you tell your friends to tune in. Okay, Padres yesterday. Now, I know this is kind of, throwing stuff against the wall and seeing what sticks. And tomorrow's going to be Fan Fest, and everybody's excited about Fan Fest. And, you're going to get that rolling tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock. There'll be players there. I don't know if Machado's coming. I know he's not speaking to the media tomorrow. Tatis will be there, and Joe Musgrove, and Nick Pivetta, Mason Miller, Gavin Sheets. There are going to be a bunch of the guys there. I don't know if Machado's there or not there. I know he's not speaking to the media. But 10 to 4 tomorrow at Petco Park Fan Fest. That's great. But the Padres signed another pitcher. Now, this is totally under the radar. But left-hander Marco Gonzalez, who's actually had a pretty good career. Now, he missed all of last year with a flexor tendon injury and rehab it. And basically, just another guy, kind of the old Jack McKeon theory. Sign a bunch of guys, let them compete, throw something against the wall, and let's find out what sticks. Marco Gonzalez has had a pretty good career. Career-wise, 66 and 50 with a 4.16 ERA, but he's had some good years. You know, you go back to 2024 prior to getting hurt, and he got hurt that year pitching for the Pittsburgh Pirates. 7 starts, 1-1, and a 4.54 in only 33 and 2/3 innings. But he came up with the Cardinals, had some really good years with Seattle. He's going to be 34 years of age. He got nothing to lose. He's going to get $1.5 million if he makes the ball club. And there's also incentives in there for another $1 million. You got nothing to lose. And, you know, I was taking a look at the Padres staff. And, you know, you got Nick Pivetta and Michael King coming out of the gate. I mean, those guys are big league pitchers. I mean, they're, you know, Pivetta got Cy Young votes last year. King got them the year before. And Michael King's going to come back and be healthy, and I would imagine be very happy and be very motivated to continue to forge his career as a starting pitcher. So you got the two guys at the top. Now, who's going to start opening day? I have no idea. I would think on what he did a year ago, Nick Pivetta would probably get the ball. It could be Michael King. We'll see how spring training goes, make sure everybody stays healthy. Then you got Joe Musgrove. We talked about Joe, and we've talked about Joe on a lot of programs during the winter. We don't know what to expect. The big thing, Joe is healthy, and that's a good thing. Joe talked last week at the Miracle League on Sunday that, hey, you know what? I know I'm going to be on a pitch limit. I know I'm probably going to be on an innings limit, but that's okay. I want to pitch in October. I like his mental attitude. I always like Joe Musgrove's mental attitude. Guy comes to the ballpark, the game means something to him, and he'll be ready to roll. We're going to get as much out of Joe Musgrove as we possibly can this year, and he'll give you everything he's got. Randy Vasquez coming off a really nice year a year ago. I feel good about Randy Vasquez. In fact, I felt good about Randy Vasquez when we got him from the Yankees because I saw him pitch with the Yankees and I liked him. And I got news for you. He's a hell of a lot better now than he was when he was with the Yankees. Over the last 2 years, he has really come into his own. And I expect him to hopefully take another step forward this year. He's still very young, still like 27 years of age. So I feel good about Randy. I really do. Then you start kind of wondering who's going to stick. You got J.P. Sears, who I think he's going to have to reinvent himself with Ruben Niebla. He's going to have to change maybe his pitch mix a little bit, maybe some of the shapes on certain pitches. But I think there's something to work with there. And you look at his career numbers, they're not great. And he wasn't great last year. There was one game where he threw pretty well for the Padres, 5 pretty good innings, and then, you know, kind of ran out of gas. But that's okay. There's something to work with. He is a veteran left-hander, and I'll take a veteran left-hander anytime that still can bring it, doesn't have an arm issue. So we'll see how he goes in spring training. Let's see what kind of tweaks the Padres make with J.P. Sears. Then Kyle Hart, who a year ago was great at Petco Park, but couldn't get anybody else out on the road. Then they put him in the bullpen. And of course, that was up and down from the minor leagues. I thought he got a little bit better. Now, I don't know whether or not he can be a guy that will make the rotation and stick in the rotation all year. But there's something there. He's 32 years of age, knows how to pitch a little bit. And again, I don't know what the deal was. At home, he was great. At Petco, he was fantastic. And on the road, he wasn't very good. He finished 3-3, 3-0 at home, 0-3 on the road with a very, very high ERA. But something to work with. And then you got Matt Waldron, who only pitched in one game. Remember Matt last year? That was kind of a weird injury, and obliques are always kind of weird injuries. He had that left oblique strain in spring training. And then he started pitching a little bit after a while. He came up one game against the Phillies and got, you know, beat up pretty good. That was his only game in the big leagues last year. So we'll see what he brings to the table. Got a little experience. We know he can go a few innings here and there and get some people out. I mean, you're not going to win the World Series with Matt Waldron, But during the regular season, you like guys like that. And then you sign Marco Gonzalez, and we'll see whether or not he's healthy, whether or not he can make the team. But they're trying to bring in some depth to the organization, and that's exactly what they need. They need to bring in some depth to the organization. Okay, now I want to remind everybody this is an interactive show, and we're going to go out here in just a couple of minutes, and we're going to start getting questions. And the thing about this program, you can ask me anything. Anything about the Padres, the Dodgers, the Angels. You know, it was really cool the other day. We had Tim Nevert on, who's a play-by-play guy for the Dodgers. And this is a show we're going to talk about every team. But Roger Lodge, who's on 8:30 up in Anaheim in Los Angeles, he covers the Angels. And I've been on Roger's show a few times. He's a great guy, always treats me very well. He put out a tweet the other day while I was doing the show and interviewing Tim Never and goes, "Hey, tune in. Coach Kentera's got a good show going." And I appreciate that, Roger. If you're tuning in this morning, it's pretty cool that another broadcaster would put a tweet out saying, "Hey, man, this is a good show." So we take on all comers. I know we got Dodger fans out there. I know we got Angel fans, and I want to get Roger on the program. I love talking about the Angels. I love going to Anaheim Stadium. That's where I saw my very, very first big league ball game. 1966, Saturday night. Angels win it 2-1 on Tom Satriano's RBI single to right field. That was a lot of fun. My dad took me up there. We sat in the upper deck, second to last row at Angel Stadium. That was my very, very first big league game. I'll never forget it. It was oh man, it was special. Absolutely special. And I fell in love with the game of baseball. And I love baseball. This is my time of year. I mean, I cannot wait for pitchers and catchers to get over there to Peoria. I used to love going to spring training. Spring training was the best, man. Go out in the backfield, watch the minor league guys. If you've never been to spring training, folks, if you can't go this year, make a plan to go next year. Because I'm going to tell you what, especially if you got youngsters, get over there and don't just go in on the weekend. Go in like on a Tuesday before all the mass group of people come. And go to around not only the Padre camp, and it's also the Seattle camp at Pure Sports Complex. Go to some of the other places around, and I'll tell you what, if you've got a kid, boy or girl, that loves playing baseball or softball, you got to get them to spring training early on, and I'll tell you what, they'll eat it up. They'll absolutely eat it up. And I know spring training may be a little bit different now. There's maybe not as much freedom as there once was, going out to the backfields to watch the minor leagues. But most of the places, or if you go out early in the morning, you can watch the guys work out, take ground balls, take BP. Afternoon, they play exhibition games on the backfields while the big league guys are playing in the big stadium. But if you get a chance, it's unbelievable. And I know college baseball. I know Point Loma Nazarene is kicking off this weekend. JCs have already started. Four-year schools are getting ready to start here in the next week or two. So this is a fun time of year if you're a baseball fan. Little League, my grandson's playing in the Encinitas Little League. He's all fired up, out taking ground balls, throwing balls off the roof, catching fly balls. My one granddaughter who's a pitcher up in Encinitas, she's out doing pitching lessons, batting lessons, taking ground balls before school. I mean, it's a fun time of year, man. I miss coach. This time of year, I miss coaching and all the fundamentals of the game. It's so much fun. So much fun. Okay, speaking of fundamentals, let's talk about what ESPN's Kylie McDaniel, who I think is a good guy. And again, he put together these rankings. In the Padres, they weren't in the top 10. They weren't in the top 20. They were dead last, according to Kylie McDaniel from ESPN, in the farm system. I don't know whether that's right or wrong. I don't know how they go about ranking them, but that's not good. That's not good. But you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter one bit. I mean, we know about Ethan Salas missed all last year. He's not in the top 10 any longer. He's ranked like 110th. And once upon a time, he was like in the top 8. But he hadn't played, and when he has played, he hadn't swung the bat. Good catcher, but he hadn't swung the bat. Missed, all last year. Bad back. Played in the Arizona Fall League for a short period of time. They shut him down. Hopefully he'll be ready to roll for spring training. He missed an entire year and still very young. Still, what, maybe he's turned 20. I'm not even sure he's turned 20 yet. But the Padres were ranked 30th in all of baseball. Here's the top 10. I'll give you the top 10. Milwaukee, number 1. Cleveland, number 2. Pittsburgh, number 3. The Los Angeles Dodgers, shocker, number 4. In fact, the Dodgers, by MLB Pipeline, about 10 days ago, they were ranked number 1 in baseball. Their big guy is a guy named by the name of Jose De Paula. New York Mets, 5th. Rounding out the top 10, Detroit 6th, Seattle 7th. 8th is Minnesota, 9th is St. Louis, and 10th is the Miami Marlins. A couple of other teams to take a look at. You've got San Francisco in our division. They're ranked 19th. Arizona ranked 21st. Colorado ranked 28th. And the Angels ranked 27th. And the Angels' top prospect is that young right-hander who pitched at Santa Barbara and came out of Scripps Ranch, Tyler Bremner. So he's the Angels' top prospect, young man from Scripps Ranch High School. And so Colorado ranked 28th, and the Padres ranked 30th. All that, not going to sweat it. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to let you in on a secret. It's not Kylie McDaniel, but once upon a time, when they were doing all these rankings, and guys would call around and get information from scouting directors, and some scouting directors were great. Others said, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste my time. But the scouting directors and general managers, this is honest to goodness truth, would kiss the butts of the writer calling. A lot of times would get a higher ranking. If they'd have called you and said, well, I don't really have time, I don't really care what, do your thing, blah, 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 you might get ranked lower. I mean, unless you had just some bona fide big time prospects, they'd mark you down. Not all these guys, but some of them. And so you need to build relationships. And when you build relationships and friendships, sometimes these guys would have a little bit higher ranking than they maybe deserve, rather than an organization that didn't want to spend their and waste their time talking to these guys. They'd get rated a little bit lower. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. We know the Padre farm system right now is not real deep. They got some good players down there, but they don't have a ton of guys. We don't have a big power hitting outfielder that, is on the come and going to be here before too long. We don't have that great middle infielder. We traded him away last year to get Mason Miller, which I'm okay with. Mason Miller is a dominant major league ball player and a proven ball player and a guy you got under control for a few more years. We don't know about what DeVries is going to do long term. We think he's going to be pretty good, but he's playing high A ball. That's a long ways from the big leagues, folks. And, he may end up being a superstar. But at that point in time, to try to make a run, the Padres needed what they needed. They went and got him. And AJ will go ahead and he'll rebuild the farm system yet again. So I just thought I'd share that with you today. Okay, I want to get out and get some live questions today. I would hope on a Friday, a lot of you are all fired up for a big weekend. And boy, tell you what, when we come back on the air after being off Monday, this coming Monday, we're going to be off. And then Wednesday, we're going to be back on. Now, we're going to be a week away from pitchers and catchers reporting to Peoria. Okay, let's get out to some questions today. See what we got. We got a lot to cover today still. Want to get into college basketball. Want to get into the Farmers Insurance Open. We got another big SDCollectibles show this week. Okay, let's do a little roll call. How about a little roll call on a Friday? I want to hear, where are you watching the show from? We got any people out of state today? I would certainly think we got some people out of state. Everybody's a little bit slow at the trigger today, it seems like to me. Can't be tired. You can't be tired this week. Like in 2 weeks, I expect you to be a little fatigued. We got Super Bowl week next week. We'll talk a little bit about the Super Bowl, see what goes on. I think right now, for me, I got to go with Seattle. I don't think New England can outscore Seattle. And Seattle's defense really good. Okay, let's get to a roll call right now. See what we got. Jonathan's going to be joining us today. Tell us about the big card show this weekend down at Liberty Station. Going to be a 2-day card show, I might add. Okay, what do we got today? Okay, we're gonna bring those in. Let's get to college basketball. Aztecs looked really good the other night. They're playing better, and I think one of the reasons they're playing better is they're playing nine guys. Magoon Gloss out. I forget who else was out the other night. LZ Harrington was out. And both those guys are outstanding players. We know about Gloss, and he hadn't had a great year, but hey, you know what? He's 7 foot. He's a difference maker when he's healthy and in there playing, but he's been up and down. LZ Harrington didn't play the other night. And this is nothing against those guys. Not one criticism of those guys. But because they're not playing, that gives more minutes to other guys, and that gives more minutes to your better players. And so when you're playing nine, guys are going from playing 22 minutes to 27, 28, 29, maybe even 30 minutes. And that's how you get rolling. And Brian Dutcher knows this. Brian Dutcher definitely knows this. But Brian Dutcher, to this point, is trying to keep everybody happy. And I got news for you. Nobody's happy when they're not getting 28 to 30 minutes. In fact, some of those guys probably want 32 or 34. Good players don't want to come off the court. And I look at like what Clint Allard does at UC San Diego. I look at other schools. Most of these programs, they have a monitor. They actually have a monitor on players during practice and during games on what their workload is. And the training staff kind of lets coaches know, hey, this guy need to get him out or whatever. Some guys have a higher workload than others. I mean, it's amazing. And sometimes when you're watching a college basketball game, you'll see something down around the hip area, and it's like a mechanical device that's tracking the guy, what he's doing. And but now you got two guys out the other night, and I don't know how many guys are going to be ready to play tomorrow at Utah State. But I think one of the reasons they're playing better is they're not playing as many guys, and some of their better players are getting more minutes, and they're able to get in the groove and stay in the groove. And the other night, Reese Waters, he was a guy a couple years ago, well, 3 years ago now, because he redshirted last year. Remember, he broke the foot, and then he played the year before. When he transferred from SC, I was like giddy about it because I saw him play at SC, and he was the Pac-12 sixth man of the year coming off the bench and averaged, right about 10 points a game. And when he came to San Diego State, he didn't seem to be the same player. And even in the beginning of this year, he didn't seem to be the same player. And I know there was a lot of rust. You can practice, you can scrimmage, but you got to play. And the other night, Reese Waters was fantastic. I mean, they blew. And not that Colorado State's a world beater. They got a losing record in conference, a winning record overall. They're not bad. And they got some good players. But they blew them off the court the other night by 23, 73 to 50. So that's a good win. It'll be a little more difficult when they go to Moby Arena. But the other night, Reese Dixon Waters, 16 points, 7 to 9. He was 2 for 2 on threes, hitting the fall away jump shot. Good player. Pharaoh Compton, good young player. Not a great offensive player. I mean, he's good when he gets to the rim. But the other night played great. 16 or a 15 points, 6 of 7 shooting, 5 rebounds, real physical. Miles Bird, 10 points, 3 of 8, 1 of 4 on threes, 3 rebounds. Miles Bird, athletic guy, really good defender, not a great shooter. I mean, he's hot and cold, but he takes bad shots. His percentage is not good. In fact, his percentage career-wise not good shooting the basketball. That's going to be one thing that he's going to have to get better at if he really has the dream of playing in the NBA. His shot's got to get better. But he does a lot of really good things. But his shot for me needs to be reconstructed. And we'll see where that goes. But they got a team tomorrow in Utah State, and they're going to be playing up at the D. Glenn Smith Spectrum. Tough place to play. I'm sure they're going to have a whiteout. 10 o'clock start. I mean, everything going against the Aztecs tomorrow going in. But you know what? Good teams find a way to perform in a hostile environment. The Aztecs are better than Utah State. They're more athletic. They've got to come in. They got to be physical. They can't pick up dumb fouls early in the game, put Utah State at the foul line. Aztecs, if they play a smart game tomorrow, and I mean really a smart game. Don't try to do too much. Don't try to be too fancy. They win this game, and they open up a 2-game lead. in the Mountain West Conference. They're the best team in the conference. When they're ready to play, they're the best team in conference. But they can't go up there and pick up a bunch of early fouls, dumb fouls, reach fouls, and allow the officials to dictate the course of the basketball game. Because I'm going to tell you what, that place is going to be packed. They're going to be lathered up, even though it's a 10 o'clock game out here on the West Coast. It'll be, 11 o'clock up there. They're going to be fired up, ready to roll. This is a big game tomorrow. And the other team to watch out for, and I know the Aztecs beat them, but they had a heck of a time beating them, is New Mexico. New Mexico's only got 2 losses, and they ran UNLV off the court the other night in Vegas. I mean, they blew them out by, I don't know if it ended up being 30 or 26. They blew them out big time. They blew them off the court a lot easier than San Diego State did last Saturday in that afternoon game. So tomorrow, a huge game. If the Aztecs were to lose tomorrow, there could be, by tomorrow night, there could be a 3-way tie in the Mountain West Conference. The Aztecs, they win tomorrow, they push it out to a 2-game lead over at least Utah State. We'll see what New Mexico does tomorrow. So that's my take on that. Okay, I want to do a roll call. Let's do a roll call. I want you to raise your hand. Where are you watching the show? And if you got a question, let's go ahead and get to those right now. If not, we'll bypass it. I'm going to get to the Farmers Insurance Open. See what we got here. Friar Juanito checking in from Otay Mesa, Coach. I don't see this team competing this season with this current roster. Oh, I think they're going to compete. I think the big thing, they're going to compete for a playoff spot. They're not going to compete for the division. There's no team in the West that's going to beat the Dodgers. And when we had Tim Neverett on the other day, he's going, I don't know how many games they're going to win. Well, I think the Dodgers, last year everybody thought the Dodgers were going to go like 120-42. Well, Dave Roberts wasn't going to allow that to happen, even before all the injuries. Dodgers should win 100 games this year. But that's not their mission. Their mission is to win the division, get a high seed to where they can get a bye, and then go to it. Last year, you recall, they didn't get a bye. They'd like to get a bye, but they know they're going to be in the playoffs. I mean, there's no way the Dodgers would not make the playoffs. I don't care if Ohtani went down or Freddie Freeman went down or Betts went down. They're going to make the playoffs. With the expanded format a few years ago to 6 teams, Dodgers will make the playoffs. Padres aren't going to win the division. Arizona's not going to win the division. Giants aren't going to win the division. Padres will be right in the wild card. I will tell you this. I think the National League Central's gotten a little bit better. I think they're a little bit better. I mean, Cincinnati's for real. We know Milwaukee's always going to be a good player there. St. Louis, don't really know what to expect out of them. Don't expect much out of the Buccos, even though they got Paul Skeens. But I do think that division's better, and I don't want to forget the Cubs. Cubs are a good ball club. You got 3 teams right now in the National League Central that could be all playoff teams. The division winner, and they could get 2 wild cards out of there. You look at the National League East. You figure the Mets, how the Mets going to screw it up this year? You got the Atlanta Braves, good ball club. I don't expect much out of the Miami Marlins. I don't expect much out of the Washington Nationals. So, we'll see how it goes there. But you would think the Mets would be the team to beat, but Atlanta, I think, will bounce back. But I do think the Padres are playoff caliber. But after this year, we'll see how it goes. We're going to see who owns the ball club. Not only that, we're going to kind of wonder about the 2027 season. I have no idea what's going to go on in 2027. Nobody does at this point. But hey, keep the faith. Okay, let's roll on. What else we got here? Richard, rankings are as reliable as a tooth fairy. With no money to sign free agents and AJ always trading prospects for the now, how long can this stay sustainable? Well, you know what? It's been sustainable for a while. 4 playoff appearances over the last 6 years, best in franchise history. 90 plus wins each of the last 2 years, first time in franchise history. Padres are doing what they can do. Machado and Bogart, they're going to be here till they're 40. I think when you get those 2 guys 40, things could be very difficult here. Going to be hard to, I think, compete when those guys are 40 years of age. Manny will probably end up playing first base. Bogarts, who knows where he's going to play? Maybe second. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, those contracts eventually are going to choke them. Eventually choke them. Be nice if you could move Machado's contract, but I mean, when they re-signed him, remember when he could walk away a couple of years ago, and before Peter Seidler passed away, they decided to re-sign Manny. Oof, that contract's going to come back and bite him. It really is. It really is. Richard, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay, another one from Richard. Hey, Coach, got you on my AirPods in Covina, California, and my pest control route. All right. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. You got to give your boss or your company a plug one of these days. Tell us who you're working for out there. Steve Tejas, Coach, what do you think about moving Merrill to first? Sign a rise for 2 years, $10 million. Have him DH. Can Laureano play center? What do you think? Now, Steve, I think you got to keep Merrill there. Ramon Laureano, you may see him from time to time play center field, but I think those days for Laureano, who came up with the Athletics as a center fielder, I think he's more of a corner guy now. But, in certain situations, if Jackson were to be out they give him a day off, or maybe, unfortunately, if he got hurt again, we hope that doesn't happen. Missed time last year with that hamstring and then the concussion when he slid into second base. Laureano could probably do it for a short period of time, but I think he better serves the corner now. I don't see them moving Jackson Merrill. Too young, too talented, runs too well. They're going to leave him in the outfield, and I think he's played really well out there. We talked a little bit about Luis Ariz. The market for Luis Ariz is really none right now. Padres could maybe re-sign him, get him at a bargain for a year. I don't think they'd want to sign him more than a year. I know Miami maybe would bring him back. I think Colorado ought to sign him. I think he would bring a lot to the table. I talked about it Wednesday. That big outfield, the spray hitter that he is, his power would play, or I guess his lack of power would play much better at Coors Field. But I also think he'd be a good stabilizing influence in that clubhouse. He's been on some good teams. He's been around good players. He's been an all-star. Uh, I think Luis Ariz is probably, when you look at the metrics analytically, he probably doesn't figure all that well. In fact, I know he doesn't. But he's a guy I'd like to have on my ball club. I'll put it that way. Sometimes you got to look past the analytics, but again, you also have a budget, and you got to look at where you're at and what you still need. But if the Padres could bring him back, I like him. He's a hardworking guy. He's very well liked in the organization. That's not why they wouldn't bring him back. They like him a lot. They just don't think he brings to the table what they need with this ball club at this point in time. And I'm not saying he goes to Colorado because they're a crappy team. I just think that ballpark plays for his skill set a little bit better. That's my take on that. Steve, good to hear from you, buddy. Always great to hear from you from up there in Central California. Okay, what else we got here? Casey King, and checking in from Gilbert, Arizona. Casey, you got to fill me in when you get out to spring training. If you're in Gilbert, Arizona, man, you got to be finding a way to get out to spring training ball games and workouts quite a bit. So you're going to have to be my Gilbert, Arizona reporter over there. I'll look forward to that. All right, what else we got? I want that roll call today. Where are you watching and listening to the program? Work for Terminix, 25 years. Hey, congratulations. Terminix, a fantastic company. I've got Corky's. I've got Corky's Pest Control. That's who I use. And it seems like they're always coming, man. We had some possums once upon a time in our backyard. In Solana Beach, we had possums. So I pay an extra fee to make sure the possums don't come back. You believe that? I had a neighbor once upon a time, Mrs. Mason, who lived across the street. In fact, she's the one that named the big fiesta every year, Fiesta del Sol. Mrs. Mason used to feed the possums. And so they came to our neighborhood. Now, she was a beautiful lady. Passed away a number of years ago now, but a really beautiful lady. Always enjoyed my friendship with Mrs. Mason. Lillian Mason was her name. Okay, what else we got? Keep them rolling. Rankings are reliable. We got that one in already. We got any more roll call? I'm a little disappointed today. I got to be honest. I'm a little disappointed that more people, you may not have a question for me, but how about a roll call? Where are you watching and listening to the program? I want to know where you're watching and listening to the program to. We got a lot of people online right now. I want to hear from you. Don't be shutter shy on me. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds, and then we're going to dive into the Farmers Insurance Open a little bit. And I'm not going to get into, Brooks Koepka and Justin Rose, but Justin Rose, nice round yesterday. And looking forward to watch a little bit of the golf tournament today and definitely watch the final round on Sunday. We got any other questions there? Jonathan, you can put them up and I'll get to them. But I want to get to the Farmers Insurance Open. And, I was driving last night, my brother driving me to the game because that way he can drive me right up to the arena and I can just walk in the arena. I don't have to walk from the parking garage because I can't walk a great distance. That's why the Padres pushed me around last week at Randy's celebration of life in a wheelchair. I got to be honest with you. I don't want to say I was embarrassed. It just was weird because I know I'm healthy and I got from the front gate to where I was sitting out down on the field in right field. I got pushed from the front gate out there in a wheelchair, and then they took me out of my seat after I was able to walk on stage. Everybody said I walked good. I felt like I was walking like with molasses or gum stuck to my shoe. And then I sat down, and then they took me in a wheelchair back across the field, up the ramp, to the elevator, and took me to the Lexus Premier Club to where they were having an after service get together. And then when I was ready to leave, they took me from there. They took the wheelchair and wheeled me out to the parking lot in the Lexus lot. And it was just weird. I felt weird. People that know me are kind of looking at me. Trevor Hoffman looked like he saw a ghost when he saw me in a wheelchair. He come, what's going on? And I just said, hey, I got this procedure. I can't walk. So anyways, I go to the game last night. And my brother parks, drives me right up to the arena. I can walk in and so on and so forth. But getting back to the Farmers Insurance Open. Yesterday I read, and I knew this was coming. I read it in the Union Tribune about this is the last year of the Farmers Insurance Open the way we know it. They've sponsored it for 17 years, and this is it. They're done. Why, I don't know. But I guess, they've put a lot of money into it. It's not, that cheap. But now, a couple of things. Number one, they're looking for a sponsor. And I would have to believe that the PGA is trying to help Marty Gorsuch and the people that put on the golf tournament. They got to be helping them try to find a corporate sponsor. It's not that easy. But then they're talking about the PGA wanting to, move the schedule around. And my take on that, what does that mean? Does that mean we're not going to have the tournament in San Diego in late January, early February, like we've had since back in the 50s? And it's been a variety of different names. Andy Williams, the San Diego Open, the Sherson Lehman Andy Williams Open. I mean, we could talk forever about all the different sponsorships. But here's the deal. We lost the Chargers 9 years ago. We don't have an NBA team. We don't have an NHL team. We don't have a brand new arena. We've got a very nice Snapdragon Stadium that plays college football. We can't fill that up for the hometown Aztecs. We got soccer teams that people come out and enjoy. We got a baseball ballpark that is sold out pretty much every night, including on Mondays and Tuesdays, while we've got a good ball club going. But I'm going to tell you right now, if we were to lose this PGA Tour event, and I'm not saying we're going to, but there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of questions surrounding this tournament this year and where it goes in future years. This would be another, and you can agree or disagree with me. Now, again, I'm not a good golfer. I always tell people when they ask me, do you play golf? I go, not very often, but I am very good through the wagon wheel and the clown's mouth. But I haven't played golf in a while. But a lot of my friends play golf. They love golf. They love going to the golf tournament at Torrey Pines each and every year. They'll go out to La Costa when they've got an LPGA event. we can't lose this golf tournament, folks. Okay, for a variety of reasons. This would be another black eye on the city of San Diego and the sports community of San Diego. We cannot allow this to happen. And I would hope, and I'm sure they are, and I'm sure after this tournament's over and the Farmers Insurance sponsorship goes away, we're going to start hearing about what they're going to do. And I would imagine they have to be. They have to be down the road with some company that wants to come in and grab the sponsorship. Now, with that being said, what time of year are we going to have a PGA Tour event? I mean, as long as I can remember, it's late January, early February. And I think it works out perfect. It's early in the season. Then they go over with the waste management tournament over there in Arizona, which is, we know about the craziness of that golf tournament. So, you know what? More than anything else, I'd have to say, we'll just have to wait and see where it goes. But this cannot leave San Diego. This is too precious a sporting event for San Diego to lose. We got to do everything possible to keep this PGA Tour event at Torrey Pines. That's my say on that. Okay. I don't know if we got any more questions, Jonathan. If we have more questions, you can put them up right now. But if we don't, we'll get to our coach's mailbag before too long. But right now, I want to bring on Jonathan Oliveira. And we got Mike in Sacramento. Mike, thank you very much. But let's get to Jonathan Oliveira. He's got a big card show this weekend. He's going to tell you everything. In fact, he's got a few things that he's going to be selling. And I'm going to tell you right ahead of time. He's selling them tomorrow and Sunday. But if you want to buy them right now, he's going to tell you how you can do that. And I bring on my partner in crime here, Jonathan Oliveira, who also doubles as this an incredible entrepreneur with SDCollectibles. And they're going to be on display again tomorrow. One of many shows this year for SDCollectibles in San Diego. It'll be tomorrow at Liberty Station, 10 to 5, both days. And Jonathan, I know you had one in early January, but this is a big 2-day event.
All right, there we go. I think can you hear me now?
Yeah,
All right, perfect.
You were talking good, but I just wasn't hearing anything.
I know, right? It sounded good on my end, but I don't think anyone else could hear me. Yeah, we had that first show of the year very early. I think it was the first weekend, the first Saturday in January, and that went good. But yeah, now this is the big one. These are the 2-day shows that we do only a few times a year. So this one's obviously this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, like you had mentioned, 10 to 5 at Liberty Station. The address is down there on that ticker that's scrolling across. It's 2600 Landing Road. So for anyone who's been to Liberty Station where there's, all the shopping and the food areas, it's in that same area. It's just a little bit over to the right. I believe there's a high school or some sort of a school near there, and it's right by there. It's at the Liberty Station Convention Center. So it's going to be a great time this weekend. Free parking, $5 entry.
Free parking. That's better than going to Balboa Park.
Exactly. Yeah, it costs more to park at Balboa Park than our card show. So, but yeah, I mean, if you're into even not only just sports cards, but like Pokemon's huge now. So there's going to be a little bit of everything. There's going to be collectibles. There's going to be sports cards, Pokemon cards, other different trading card games. So it'll be a great time and, something to do this weekend that's worth checking out.
Do you have any Bill Belichick cards available?
I don't. I'm waiting till he gets in first, or till he gets into the Hall of Fame. It wasn't first ballot, but yeah, I'm waiting. No, but when we had talked about me coming on and talking about the show, I had to pull out some cool stuff to show off, and I kind of stuck with the San Diego sports legends theme, because obviously with my website, huge San Diego guy. I got on the C word shirt, but it says San Diego, so it's okay. But yeah, so like here's for anyone who hasn't been to a show or seen my table or my website, these are a few of the items that I have. So we got a cool Jerry Coleman autograph. Everyone knows who Coleman is.
You know what? I sat with Maggie Coleman. Kelly and I sat with Maggie Coleman, Jerry's widow, at Randy's event. She looked fantastic.
Good, awesome.
Their daughter, Chelsea, had a baby here not too long ago. She owns a couple of restaurants in San Diego. And I shared with Maggie a few of my Jerry Coleman uh,
Stories.
fun things with her. She got a kick out of it, but Maggie's
That's
doing
cool.
well.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll have stuff like that, like Coleman. Everybody loves Machado. We got his rookie there.
What's
Junior
that go
Spain.
for, by the way?
This one here, I think I have this one for $60, and it's a Gem
Okay.
Mint 10 graded. So
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Perfect mint condition is what you're saying.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. So an immaculate card. And then what I just got in for the website and these shows is some of these Tony Gwynn autograph bats.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah. So I haven't had these. I haven't made these available yet. They're going to be available at this show this weekend. Or if anyone here listening, you can always go to my website and message me there. But yeah, these are just brand new to the inventory. So they'll be debuting this weekend at the show. So
Hey,
everybody
if
loves
somebody
them.
wanted to buy that Manny Machado card right now, how could they do it?
So you can go onto my website right there, sdsportsmem.com. And when you go on the website, one of the first things that pops up is a little chat box on the side there, and that goes straight to my phone. So I have my phone right here next to me. So like if we're live right now, but if they go on, somebody listening right now and message me on that chat thing, it'd pop up right here. So, and that goes for anything on the website or the bats or any of that stuff. That's the best way to reach me.
Okay, give that website out again.
Yep. So it's sdsportsmem.com. So mem like memorabilia. It's right above my head here. But yeah, if you go onto that, or you can scan these QR codes. I think that they should scan on this screen here, but that'll take you right to the website. And then I'm on Twitter and Instagram as well. So all those, I'm very reachable, very accessible. So they can always get a hold of me somehow.
Jonathan, 2-day show. How many
Yeah.
tables, how many vendors are you expecting?
Yeah, so this one, so we've done the Liberty Station before, and each time we do it, the tables sell out so fast. So we have the main room where everybody's in. Now we've kind of leaked out into the hallways and the corridors around. We have it's a part of Point Loma Nazarene University, so there's also rooms in the back, like classroom size rooms. So for anyone who's into Pokemon, we expanded into one of those rooms, and we're doing a whole tournament on Sunday that they can enter into. So there's going to be a lot of vendors. There's going to be a lot of tables, probably 130 to 150 tables there. So a lot of people. And the cool thing about coming to a card show is I know there's always online in eBay, but nothing beats, just coming and seeing the card in person, where you can just see it and look at it, and then you don't have to worry about it getting shipped to you.
We talk about cards, and obviously I've got a ton of cards: football, basketball, baseball.
Yeah.
But how about comic books? Are comic books still popular?
They are. Yeah, they're not. There's a select few vendors, and usually it's at these big shows when they show up. Just because the demand for the smaller shows, the tables sell out so fast. But these big shows, you have a little bit more time to be able to secure a table. So every once in a while, and I haven't looked at the vendor list yet because I've been so busy getting all my stuff ready. But yeah, I'd say every like 2 to 3 of these big shows, there'll be somebody there with some comic books. Yeah, people grade them, people like them. Yeah, they're like, I always go to Comic-Con, so comics are crazy there, and it's an interesting thing. I haven't gotten into it yet, but yeah, there's a lot of people who like those.
Who are like, is Spider-Man still popular?
I think Spider-Man might be one of the most expensive. Like I said, I don't know a lot about comics, but I know like some of the main ones. Like somebody who doesn't know about baseball knows about a Ruth or a Mantle rookie, right? And I think one of the like top like desired comics is like Action Heroes #1 or something like that, and it's like either the first of those series or it's like Spider-Man's first appearance. So yeah, those ones are still really popular, like those early ones where those superheroes make their first appearance or their debut in the comic books are huge, and they can fetch. I mean, I've watched like King of Collectibles on Netflix, and I see some that go for upwards of $1 million when they're graded and encased. So yeah, it's just like cards where they're.
I just need one.
Yeah, I know, right?
Need one.
That'd be nice. I'll just take one. Shoot, we'll share one. That'll be good.
I'm still looking for the Hannes Wagner card.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a crazy one. If you could find one of those, every time, like and it's not often, but you hear about them being found. It's somebody who, like, an older person who found it in their attic or just tucked away somewhere like that. So yeah, That's
Wonder
what I
how
like to
many
order.
Hannes Wagner cards were thrown away by somebody's mother when they were cleaning the house after the kid moved on and got married.
I know. Wagner's, Manels, so much stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
That's great. Well, hey, again, give us the time and down there at the Liberty Station. What we got 10 to 5 both days, right?
Yeah. Yep. 10 to 5 both days at Liberty Station. $5 entry per day. And another cool thing is on the bottom ticker there, too, next to the address is the SD Collectibles website, sdcollectibles.com. So when we have these big shows, a lot of people come out. So like the show starts at 10, but there's people lined up already by 8:30, 9 o'clock, and it goes around the building. So kind of a little hack to avoid that is we have 2 lines at the door. So there's a worker who's going to be taking cash or payment to buy the tickets, and then there's going to be somebody who's just scanning QR codes. So when you go to that website, you can go on it anytime right now till probably tonight, I think is when it cuts off. You can buy your tickets on there, and then you're in the fast lane and you get in quicker. And the other thing is you get in at 9:30 instead of 10. So if you buy your tickets online, you get in 30 minutes earlier, which is huge. If you're in there shopping around while everyone else who didn't buy them online is still outside. So you can go in, get the deals, and then shoot, you can maybe even be leaving before they come in and you got the stuff that they wanted to get. So that's what I would do. I would encourage people to go online, buy the tickets. Then you don't have to waste time in line. You can just cruise right in and start buying.
Well, what more could a man or a woman want on a Saturday or Sunday? Free parking and buy your tickets ahead of time. You don't have to wait in line. That
Exactly.
sounds like a damn good deal. That's a good double header right there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always a great time. It's always super busy. Usually almost lose my voice by the end of the weekend when we have these 2-day shows because it's so packed and so loud in there. But it's awesome. It's a great time if you're a collector to just come. And then even it's cool just chatting with people about San Diego sports or sports in general there. I always enjoy meeting new people and in every single show I do. So it's
You know
awesome.
the good part about it, and I eat it up when I go to those things. But
Yeah.
you know the great part
Huh.
when people go, you never see anybody in a bad mood. Everybody's happy.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like going to places where people are happy.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's happy. Everyone's having a good time. There's music going. This time we're even gonna have a Mexican food truck outside. So I mean, once you get there, there's no reason to leave until you've gotten everything that you want to get. I mean, there's food, parking, and all the cards and memorabilia that you want.
Great stuff. Jonathan,
Yep.
always enjoyed doing this segment with you. Appreciate all your
Absolutely.
hard work on our
Yeah.
podcast. We've developed a beautiful friendship over the last year, and hopefully we'll
Absolutely.
keep this thing rolling for a long time.
I hope so. Let's do it. Thanks for having
There
me
you
on.
go. Jonathan Oliveri, a great guy, hardworking guy, covers Aztecs for the East Village Times, does a lot of writing for them, and then works on my podcast, and just a great entrepreneur, a great young guy. Guy that loves sports and always enjoy. And I pick up little things from him when we have him on to talk about the different card shows. It's always kind of a lot of fun. A lot of fun. All right, the last thing we're going to get to today is we're going to get to our coach's mailbag, some of the questions we couldn't get to in our last program. And we'll see what pops up. And again, reminder on Monday, won't be in Monday. Going to be speaking at the Jocks Luncheon at Tom Ham's Lighthouse. If you want to hear my pearls of wisdom on Monday, you can stop by Tom Ham's Lighthouse. The get together is going to kind of get started at 10. I think they've got a program starting at 10:30. I'll speak at sometime, I guess, around noon. But for $60, come out and be around a lot of sports people. I think you really enjoy that. Okay, what do we got mailbag wise here today? And let's see. Will Preller be extended before spring training or during? Well, everybody's telling me they're still working on it. I talked with a high ranking official on Saturday and said they're still talking. Didn't really know what the holdup was. Eric Grupner talked at Miracle League on Sunday and said there's still ongoing talks, and the talks are going between John Seidler and AJ Preller. So, and I know AJ, and nobody's reported this except yours truly. AJ was in Japan. I don't know if he's back from Japan now, but during Randy's celebration of life, AJ was in Japan, hopefully looking for the next Otani. So I don't know if he's back or not. I would assume he's probably back. But that's my take on that. I would hope it's going to be, before spring training, or maybe announce it the first day of spring training. I'd like to announce it before spring training. I want the focus to be strictly on the ball club, not on the front office. Okay, what else we got here? Here Abrams could come back in a trade. What do you think? Where's he play? Where do you play him? I wouldn't mind CJ Abrams coming back. What are you going to give up? What would Washington take? CJ's not making a lot of money. I don't think they're going to take Cronenworth. Doesn't seem like Washington wants to spend any money. I was really hoping they could put together a deal to get Mackenzie Gore. He ended up going to Texas last week for 5 prospects. I think that was just somebody that had too much time on their hands the other day that brought up CJ Abrams. That's what I think. Okay, let's get to, we got another one out there. We got one more out there today. I don't think so. I think that's going to do it. Okay, good show today. Reminder, off Monday, Jocks Luncheon, Tom Ham's Lighthouse, $60 if you want to come hear me speak. Look forward to meeting you. If you've never met me, I'd love for you to come by and say hello. Tom Ham's Lighthouse, the 29th annual Jocks Luncheon. There are going to be some great people there. Looking forward to it. I'm excited about meeting Wally Henry. Heck, I heard about him when he was at Lincoln. I watched him play at UCLA, watched him play in the NFL, and look forward to meeting him on Monday. And then we'll be back in next Wednesday. Reminder, please subscribe, please like, please share, please tell a friend. And if you'd like, become a Gold Glove member at $2.99 a month. Enjoy the weekend. If you're into golf, enjoy the Farmers Insurance Open. And let's hope the Aztecs can pull off a big road win tomorrow up in Logan, Utah against Utah State. Until next Wednesday, Coach John Kentera, bye-bye.